Good morning, all. Um, so you people are said you're not very comfortable with, or you have so many doubts with the topic multi-threading. So today I'm going to revise uh, that topic. Actually, in Java, this is the most easiest thing. The code looks very. Only thing is, why you are feeling it difficult or why you're not able to understand this. Please uh, get that. The examples what they have given you in this section or what you have is not a real time example. It is like a dummy example which they have given, so you are not able to understand what is the practical application of multi-threading. Maybe today I will explain the theory concept, and let me see and search for some program wherein they have a real time application, and I can just tell. No matter how much I try to explain you or give you examples, you're not able to get that real time how this is being used. So please concentrate. Visual here it is nothing but there is no real time example we can give because it will take a lot of things. So only thing is we are trying to and even if I give a real time example, what happens is the code will be so complicated you will not be able to understand. So please first try to understand the basic concept and the example given here. Only then you can apply it to practical situations. Okay, first you have, when you come to this module, see there are two things whenever you are learning about programming subjects. One thing is you are learning with respect to your exams, VTU exams, and the other thing is you are learning for your lifetime programming skills or to improve the programming skills. So there are two ways, okay, for learning. So most of the times what I am covering is with respect to your VTU exams. I just don't go too much apart from the VTU syllabus. Why? Because I feel that first you have to pass in your exams. Only then you will apply this to practical situations. So first, if you know this and you understand the basic concept, then it is very easy for you to extend this. But basic things you have not understood, you cannot go further. So please try to understand the basic concept of what is threads and multi-threadings. Coding is very easy here. Okay. First of all, what do we mean by threads? See, you have learned about something known as programs. I hope everyone are here, whoever is attending the session, understand what do you mean by a program? Yes? Yes or no? Yeah? The others? Yeah, Shraddha is here. You were the one who were asking for multi-threading. I don't know who else was asking. Please message your friends. I could put in one group, but the other group I'm using my phone as well as the system here. So I could not again switch back. So please put it in the other group also. Yeah. Okay. I hope you all know what is a program, right? So when you execute a program, it becomes a process. See, all is the basic things which you need to understand what you have learnt. So when you execute your program, it becomes a process. Fine. This is also your clear. What is program? What is process? Program is something which you have written in any programming language. It can be assembly level, high level, or mid-level programming language. That is structured oriented programming languages. A program can be as simple as printing hello world on your screen, right? Or it can be very complicated program like what you have used in your ADA and everything. Okay. So a program is nothing but a set of something, a set of instructions which we give to the computer, and that will execute some instructions for you to do some job. Let's take for example the Hello World program. Hello World program you have written in C, you can write it in C++, you have written it in Java, you can write it in C Sharp, Python, any kind of programming language. The task is one, that is printing a message Hello World on the screen, and you use different programming languages to do that. So you have written the program. Now, once you write the program, the next step will be executing that program. Executing the program also here depends upon, you can execute it using different compilers. Turbo C, Borland C, or in Java, whatever JVM, everything. Correct? So when you execute this program, it becomes a process. Now all of you are clear with what is program and process? Yes? If you are clear, only then we can go for something concept known as threads. If you don't know what is program and what is process, there is no way you can understand what are threads. So just even now, if you have having any doubts with respect to what is program, what is process, please ask. If you have any hesitation, message me, or you don't want to ask me, if you feel that I'm not capable of answering you, you please go through net or somewhere and try to understand what is program and process. Fine. Now, above all these two comes something known as threads. It is something like, see, first there was program and then we executed, we got it process. Above that, you have a concept known as threads. What are these threads and how they came into being? See, earlier machine were single processor, and it could execute only one instruction at a time. Correct? The CPU will execute. If you have written a 10-line program, during the process execution, that program, first line will get executed, then go to second, third, sequentially it will execute one after the other. Agreed? And only one job is executing at a time. But later, they introduced a concept known as parallel computing. Parallel computing or multitasking or concurrent execution. There are so many terms. Please try to understand that. Concurrent execution, parallelism, multiprocessing or multiprocessor, like that. What do all of them mean in general? In general, it means that I can execute more than one instruction at a time. See, earlier single execution means one instruction at a time. Okay. But in multiprocessing, it is more than one instruction. I won't say two, but I would say more than one instruction at a time. This is known as parallel and concurrent. Why was this required? There are so many things. Increase CPU utilization, to increase processor utilization, to speed up the process execution, every let that. Let's not go into it. It was required. So you will know more about that in your operating system you have studied. So whenever I want to execute more than one instruction, how will I do? Please understand. I have given you one job to do, one process or one program which does one job. Now I'm telling I want to do it faster. I want to do parallelly, right? I can give you one example of your assignments. Two assignments you have to write, two subjects, OOC and DA. Can you write it parallelly? Think about it. Right hand OOC, left hand DA. Can you write it like that? No, right? What do you do at that time? You will say for your friend, I will write one, and other one you will say for him, you write the other, we will merge or do something like that. Are you getting the context? What I'm trying to tell? You want to do something fast. You want to do something parallelly. How will you do? Many ways are there. One way is to split that task into two things and doing it simultaneously. Either you only do it simultaneously, yes, ma'am, I'm capable. Right hand I will do right one, and left hand I will write one. Yes, fine. Or you will ask your friend to do, then also it is fine. But first of all, there should be two things that needs to be done parallelly. Are you getting the context, all of you? Or let's say, for example, OOC assignment only takes 2 days, let's say, for instance. But I want to complete it very fast in one day. How do I do it? Maybe I will split it into half, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. 1 by 2 I will write, 1 by 2 I'll ask my friend to write. Or 1 by 2 I will write in my left hand, 1 by 2 I'll write in my right hand. I'm doing it in parallelly. Yes, are you getting this? Now, the same thing I'm going to apply it for threads. Whenever I want to do something very fast, whenever I want to complete something very early, or something why I need to do it fast, or something like do it very fast means something I want to complete it early, right? Only way is doing those two something more than one thing simultaneously, parallelly. So threads give us a way to execute process parallelly, simultaneously. In a single process, what happens is only one execution or only one instruction is executed at a time. But when we go for threads, we can execute multiple instructions, or I can say multiple jobs can be done parallelly. Basically, you are improving the utilization. Basically, you are trying to do more than one job fast. And how will I do it fast? By executing them parallel together. Did you understand the concept, all of you? Until you get what do I mean by parallelly, concurrently, or together execution, you will not understand threads. Fine. Okay. Ma'am, everything is fine. What you're telling theoretically, like story, it is okay. I will do more than one job parallelly. That is what threads do. Yes, how do we do it programmatically? Now, let's say, for example, I have a program. I hope you can see my screen. What did I do? This and all I have commented this code. Only I have one statement. What is it? Yes, Pratik, typing something. What did my program do here? Very simple. I printed hello world on the screen. So what is the job of my program? To print hello world. Fine. Let's say I want to print hello world around 20 times. What will I do? I will use a for loop. Yes, I hope you can see the output screen also. It printed 20 times. Fine. Any doubts in this program? No? Okay. Now assume the other job of my program is to print the numbers from 1 to 20. Okay, fine. How will I do? So because I wanted to, okay, fine. If you see my output now, I hope you can see the output. Fine. It printed hello world 20 times. After that, it printed n value from 0 to 19 or 0 to 20. Am I doing two jobs here? First job is to print hello world 20 times. The other thing is to print the number from 1 to 20. Now, do the instruction both the jobs are happening together, or the job is happening one after the other? Which job is executing first? Did you understand my question? I said there are two questions, two jobs here, or two tasks here. One is to print hello world. All of you, please listen carefully. If you understand this leave of writing the program, there is nothing there in learning the syntax. First, understand what this example means. Okay, it sounds simple, but you have to catch the point here. In this here, I have two jobs. Okay, the first one is job one or task one. And what is task one doing? It is printing hello world. After this, I have task 2. What it is doing, it is printing numbers from 1 to 0 to 20. Now, which job will execute first and which will execute next? According to the output you saw, right? Task 1 gets executed first, then task 2. Correct, fine. Now, suppose if I say I want task 2 first, I will place the statement first, then this. Interchange, right? Agreed? Now, if I say I want them to execute parallelly, are you getting my point? See, first it will execute hello world. It will take so many seconds. Then it will print 0 to 20. It will take certain seconds. Assume I want to say, ma'am, it is taking some time. Let me do it together parallelly. CPU speed is there. Why not do it together? Can I do this now? Will it happen? If I say, copy this task one, I'm sorry, two. Fine. I place two first, then I place two task one, and now again I will run. What will happen? This time the numbers 1 to 20 printed and then hello world. Did it execute parallelly or concurrently? Now, did you get what the problem is? Like this, if I have n task, 1, 2, like this task 1, 2, 3 till 10 or 20 or 100 task, it will execute one after the other, but it will never execute together or parallelly, even though it is free. Let's take for example. Okay, here only I'll give you an example. Suppose I want this number n, how many times n value has to be printed to be accepted from the user. Let's take that. Okay. Okay, if I want to type that code, it will take some time. Okay, let's see this. Okay, I create a scanner object. I accept input from the user and then try to do it. Now, as a user, I'm not giving input. I am held up. I'm talking to someone here. My input is held. Okay, fine. Let me. I made some. Now, by that time, if anyone has any doubts, please think over again. हमसे स्कैनर के java.io होता है ना इंपोर्ट ಮಾಡೋದು Can someone tell me for scanner class what should I import? Fine. Okay. Now, Again, the same thing. I hope you can see my screen. Let's take, for example, I am taking the value of n from the user. Okay, I will replace task 1, I will place at the top to print hello world. Okay, and then I have task 2 to print n value. Let's take, for example, yes, now I will run the program. I printed first task. Now, to complete the second task, I'm waiting. The system is waiting for, or is waiting for the user to enter the value n. Assume I've left the system and gone somewhere. Will the CPU be idle during that time, not executing anything? Now, if I give something here and press enter, it will print. Are you getting my point? So if there is some IO job to be done in between, the system will be idle. Even though there is a job to execute and the system is free, we cannot execute because we are executing sequentially one after the other. If we had executed both task 1 and task 2 together, then what would happen? If T2 is waiting for something, by then CPU is free, T1 would get executed and the utilization would have improved. Are you understanding what I'm trying to tell? Okay, ma'am, then let's execute both of them together. Now, how do I do it? Did you understand the problem now? Only thing here is there are two jobs. There can be in real world any number of jobs like this. I want to execute them parallelly. Parallelly in the sense concurrently together, not one after the other. How do I do it? Yes, how do I do it? Now, all of you are clear. Why do you need to, or why do you require to study threads? Ma'am, if you say my only job or my program has to execute only one job, like for example, till now, let's say I don't have task 2, okay, this is not there, only one, then I don't require threads. Only one job will execute one after the other, then it is not required. So that's why this multi-threading is a concept, or it is like a higher level programming construct. So when you're learning basics of a programming language, we don't learn about threads. Why? Because threads are used only in complicated programs or applications or projects. And these they are the projects wherein you will be executing more than one jobs. What are those complex projects? Let's take, for example, your applications like ByGuard. Here in ByGuard, what happens is you have one place where I can see I am typing in the chat, okay? And simultaneously, I'm seeing my screen. Simultaneously, I'm taking something like save usernames. So, excuse me. When I'm doing multiple tasks like this parallelly, I want to do, only then I will use multi-threading. So if you say, ma'am, for simple tasks, then threading is not required. Yes, it is not required. For complicated programming, wherein you have multiple tasks to be executed concurrently or parallelly, only then we use the concept of multi-threading. So that's the reason why when you're writing simple programs, you will not use threads. And even when we are giving examples, we give what? Dummy examples for creating threads. Understood? Any doubts now regarding threads? Why threads? What is threads? If you have any doubts, post the questions. If you have not understood this, I will tell you, even if I explain n number of times the syntax, what I'm going to write it, it does not have any value. It is only like by hearting the syntax and going and writing it in the exam. Any doubts? Shraddha? No. Zayed? Who else said they have some doubts in trading concept? No. Okay. All of you are clear? Can I go ahead now? Okay. Fine. Uh, Now, let's take the same example. There is that number example which is there in your notes, what I've given and in your textbook. I will not take that one because you will think ma'am will give the same example and she'll explain the same. Okay, let's take the example what I have given here. Let's take this one. Okay. Mm, what I have, task 1 and task 2. Here also I'm accepting so my requirement now, you know, there is two tasks which I want to execute parallelly. I hope this code is clear. Okay, fine. I have task 1 here, I have task 2 here. Now the problem is I want to execute parallelly, but when I'm using this, there is only one process which is executing them, and it will do one after the other sequentially. So let's say I want to move this code to execute parallelly. How do I do it? I can do it using threads. Yes, the threads, what it will do, there is one main program. I can create a thread which will be a separate process and give the job of doing this task to within there. So how will I do it? There are two ways of creating threads. One is extending the thread class, and the other way is implementing a runnable interface. Before that, I would like to say there is a class called thread class in Java. Okay, what is this thread class? This thread class is an inbuilt class. Java actually is supports one of the feature of Java. If you had learned in the first class, one of the feature of Java is it supports multi-threading. What does this supports multi-threading means? There is one thread class. Yes, ma'am, there are so many classes, but this thread class is an inbuilt class which is already written in Java by the programmers, people who came up with the Java programming language. Why we say this is very easy or why it is a feature of Java means this class gives all functions. Like they have written the code for creating a thread, starting that thread, stopping the thread, giving some job to that thread, or you want to increase some thread priority. If there is, let's take for example, I had task 1 and task 2. If there are 10 tasks like that, I want some tasks to be of higher priority and the some to be of lower priority. That also. And if I want to wait for one thread to, or one process or thread to wait for the other. See, anything you want to do with threads, all the functions is readily available for you, and it is readily available for you, and you can use it just by using that function. Fine. And those functions are available within your thread class. So you can use that thread class and very easily write your multi-threading programs. So that's the reason in Java, writing programs by heart, the syntax, writing programs is very easy. But understanding the threading concept and applying for your job or your program is very difficult. Because there are so many, all the functions are readily available, you will think, yes, I will use it. But how to use it and taking care of it while using it is the very difficult thing. So that's the very important feature of Java is it will allow you to create multiple threads. That is, in the same program, what I told you, if there are n number of tasks, you can create n number of threads and make them execute parallelly. Now there is task 1, task 2. Now like this, I can create a task till task n. It may be 100, it may be 1000. So Java allows you to create threads for these tasks and execute them parallelly. That's why it is known as multi-threaded feature. Ma'am, this is not supported in other programming language. In other programming languages, you can write your own program, but you don't have this thread class wherein that is the inbuilt functions is not there for you to use. I mean, if I'm writing the code within 10 lines, threading code, multi-threading code, I can write it within 10 lines. If I go to C and C++, it will require 500 lines of code because you have to do it all manually. That 100 lines of code which you had to write is already available for you, written, tested, implemented within your thread class, and you can use it. Did you understand what is thread class now? Yes or no? Fine. So fine, I know there is a thread class. Next, how will I create my threads? There are two ways. One is implementing runnable interface. I hope you all know what is interfaces. There is an interface by name runnable, and it consists of some methods. You can implement this interface and create your thread. Or other way is extending your thread class and you can create your thread. So there are two ways Java provides you ways for creating thread. One is by implementing the runnable interface. The other one is by extending the thread class. So from your exam point of view, whatever I explained in half an hour, they will never ask you. Okay. It is only for you to understand. If you, in your case, ma'am, only thread for passing in the exam, then learn this creating of threads in two ways, implementing runnable interface and extending thread class. So let's see. First one, how do I implement runnable interface and create my thread? Okay. Now, mm, Okay. Here, can you tell me which task you want me to do in a separate thread and this one in the same thread? You want me to do the task 2 in separate thread or in the main thread or task 1? Task 1 in separate thread, Sad in task 2. Okay. Okay, Sad, Smita and Shreya, I will leave you. Let Papa task. Sad is asking, so I will take his request. Okay. ನೀವೇ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬನ್ನಿ. First, come. Wait, wait for 5 minutes. Okay. 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 So task 2, right? Fine. Now I created a Asha, you only announce, yeah. Please, you take 5 minutes rest and announce. Huh. Yeah, you have some announcement. Asha ma'am will come and announce. Yeah, you take it as good news or you take it as bad news, I don't know. You keep observing my code here. I will explain. Actually, I didn't plan to teach you in this way today. So, um, yes, Altaf, you have any doubts? Okay. So, okay, sir. Because the default formatting, what it does, I'm not very comfortable with that. So I use this. So, yeah, I will copy and I will paste there. This I will comment. Please observe now. So Sat said task 2 should be moved to the new thread. So these were the 3 lines of task 2. Fine. So I'm copying them. Where am I pasting? Observe that also. Fine. So I said, fine, all of you come back. Now, I said this was the task 2, which I wanted to move to the new thread or wanted to execute parallelly. So what I did was I create a thread for this. For creating a thread, I said there are two ways. One way is to implement a runnable interface. Fine. What I did was I created a new class. I implemented a runnable interface there. See, whenever I implement a runnable interface, I need to override the method called run. We should mandatorily or compulsorily override the method called run. And what is this method run containing? Can you tell me? What is the run method containing the three statements here? Yes, Sad. Task 2. See, whichever thing what I wanted to execute parallelly or which code I wanted the thread or new task to be done, that will be placed within the run method. So run is a method which contains the code for the new thread or what job the new thread or a new task had to do, that is put within the run method. So without telling what the task had to do, can you, without telling what the thread has to do, can you execute the thread? You have to tell, right? When I'm giving someone, I say, do a job, I should tell them what the job should be, right? And that what should be done is given within the run method. So whatever the task 2 was printing, that is printing n value 20 times, I'm putting within my run method. Did you get this? All of you? Any doubts here? So I created my new thread and my new thread here. If you can see, I create the thread here, thread T. If you ask me, T is of type thread. What is this thread, ma'am? This is a thread class, inbuilt class. I said, right? Java supports an inbuilt class called thread, which allows us to perform operations. So this is that thread. Got it? So within the constructor, I'm creating a new object. That new thread I'm creating here by saying new thread, and this, take the current object. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I will do this. Thanks, Larry. This code I was doing something, that's why I changed. Okay, fine. Okay. Hmm. Fine now? Okay. Now, so within the constructor, I'm creating a new thread. So please understand this statement here. T is equal to, or I can have the statement here only. It is no issues. Like you can have it here. Do you understand? So this is also fine. I am creating a new thread here. All of you listen carefully. I am creating a new thread with an thread class T. If you ask me, ma'am, where is this thread class? This is an inbuilt class. So this takes this object to which it belongs to the parent, and what is the name? So the new name what I'm giving for that is task 2, right? Now I created the thread. Next thing is I have to tell what this new thread has to do or what is the job of this new thread. That is given within my run method. So the job of this thread, new thread, is to execute or to print the value of n from 0 to n value. So that is within my run method. I have done this. The next last and final step is to start this thread. What do? I give t dot start, or how do I invoke the run method? When I give t dot start, I have created, but I have to start that, right? How do I started using t dot start. So this, when I say t dot start, what does it do? It implicitly calls the run method. It is as good as calling the run method. By default, start calls the run method. Ma'am, if this is in a different method, it cannot be in different method. Always, compulsorily, mandatorily, you have to override this run method, which gives what task has to be done. Any doubts in this? Change in SOP also. Okay. Am I clear? Did you get this? Fine. So I have one thread or main job here, okay, which is printing hello world. How many number of times? Okay, here also if you tell like that, here also I should, okay. Hmm. So my main thread, what is it doing? It is printing hello world n number of times, whereas my second, the other task is printing n value. How do I execute it parallelly? Okay, this one. Now, in order to call this thread also, I create an object. Only thing here is, now this is one, right? How does this constructor get called here? This part. How does it get called? When I create an object of this, right? So I create an object T2, which is of new thread. So when I call this, thread 2 gets invoked. Any doubt? Any doubts? No? No? Okay. Shall I execute this program now? Just for traceability, I will add system.out.println here. Hmm. If you have any doubts, please ask me. One second, Sad. See, how do I create this thread? Where is this thread created? The second thread, task 2 thread, where is it created? Within the constructor of new thread, correct? Yes. When will the constructor get called? When will the constructor get called? When I create an object of this class. So I'm creating an object of this class so that the thread gets created. Yes, there are other ways also, but this way I have done. Maybe um, I don't know whether this will work, but okay, let me say this. Problem is, okay. So I've created this. The newly created task is within this class. So I say T2 and I call this method as create. So when I call create, the new task will be created. Fine with this? Okay. Shall I execute now? Let's see. How will it work? Or do I require some changes? So how will the program has to execute? I create a new thread. It will do a new thread object. It should go to t2.create. It should go to t2.create. It will create a thread by task, it will start and it will run. It will start executing with task 2 then. So while it is doing this, parallelly, we might also have to do this one, task 1, where it will take the input from the user. Yes, it will take the input from the user. It will print the hello world. Okay, fine. So let's execute. I don't know which will get executed when. See here, first task 2 started. Fine. Now it is taking some value. Now I give 5. Sorry, stop it and run again. Okay, started. I'll give 5. Enter. See, it took hello world 5 times. Are you able to get it? Now 3 I will give. Now, which one got executed first? Fast, fast, fast. Task 1 or task 2? See, task 2 started here, but by then it was waiting for some input or something, right? Please understand. Hello world is task 1, right? Task 2 started and it printed. By the time I entered the value, this took this. Task 1, the thread 1 took the control. It started printing. By then, this one. You can never predict which one will execute when, because when the CPU is free, both of them will compete. Whichever can finish will do it. Now, if I add a sleep value means if I suspend this for something or do something here, what happens is, let's take if I run for another one, this I can do. Let's take, I will comment this line and I will take n value 10 times, something like this. So always you cannot predict when you're threading using multi-threading, which one will execute when. Did you understand now, all of you? Now you might tell, ma'am, it is executing one after the other itself. Whatever you were telling, it is not working like that. Let's say, for example, I had a sleep here. I hope you know what do you mean by sleep. You're suspending that thread for a certain time, right? But the problem is whenever you are using sleep, it will throw an exception. So I have to catch that exception and handle that exception. So I have added this exception. Spelling is wrong. I have to import. Get dot sleep. So while I'm running the task 2, printing the numbers, I'm sleeping, I'm suspending that thread for certain amount of time. So what happens during that time? Things were suspended. I tried to type. That was the only reason. Okay, fine. Now, did you understand? So what basically this would do is it will accepting the input I have disabled. Now let's run the program. Error there. It's not going in a for loop because yeah, when I increase the, if you can see the output printed after some kind of waiting here because I've called the sleep here within my task 2. Suppose I increase the sleep here to 1000. Now run. See, it takes some time because the thread is suspended for some time and then it executes. Yeah, any doubts here? Like this only, you can create threads by extending thread class. So rather than implementing runnable interface, you can extend the thread class. Okay, first of all, do you have any doubts here? Then I will go to the next way. Um, for your answer, Altaf, when will you use extends and when will you use threads? I will give you an example. Let's say this extends another class. There is one class A. Did you understand the question? What your friend is asking? When I will use, there are two methods. Which one will I use when now? Let's say this is the class, public class thread extends, I have this A, thread 1 extends A class. Suppose I want to create a thread by extending the thread class, okay, within the same class here only. Or not here, let me take it here. This is where I'm doing, right? Okay. Suppose I don't want to use implements runnable. I want to use a extends class here. So first only this class extends a class by name A. Okay. Let's say there is a class by name A, any number of classes I can have. So this new thread extends the A class. So for creating threads, now if I have used implements runnable, right? Now, Altaf says, ma'am, use extends and extends thread class and create a thread rather than implementing. Okay, so let me comment it and extends, it already extends one class. So can I do this? Class new thread extends a and thread. Is it possible in Java? What is this called? What is this called? Class A extends B and C. Yes, thank you, Sambhav. This is called as multiple inheritance. So, in this case, you cannot use extends thread class and do. That's the reason Java has given implements also. In so here I will do implements runnable. Did this answer your question, Altaf? Ma'am, maybe in this class, if I want to create thread, is here you can do either of them. It is left to you. But in certain cases, you can't extend the thread class. There you will do runnable interface. Shreya, wherever you use sleep, it will suspend. Here also, if I use sleep here, while printing the hello world, it will suspend the printing for certain time. So if I add this statement, let's say for example, okay, if I add this statement there, where am I printing here? Okay. Here also while I'm printing, if I call the suspend thread, what it will do is it will take the value of n, sleep for some time, okay, then print hello world. Again it will go back to for loop, decrement the for, sleep and then come, okay. If you take that while printing hello world only, see, because you are the thread 1 is sleeping now, thread 2 started executing. See, the output changed. Are you getting my point? Whichever is suspended, whichever is taking time, the next thread will take control immediately. Yes, dear. What you said, I've showed, Shreya. Am I clear now? Threads. Okay. Next way of creating thread is through extending the thread class within the constructor. I am doing this. Extending the thread class here also, the class which extends the thread class has to override the run method, and within the run method what the thread is doing, that is given. So whatever task you want the thread to do, that is given within the run method, and within the constructor you are calling the start method. Okay, only difference is when you are extending the thread class, you need not have to create a thread object, because this is already a subclass of thread class. Simply you give a start method, it will call the run. So here that statement, that is this statement is not required because you are extending a thread class there. So only difference will be here extends thread. When I do extends thread, this is not there. This t dot start is not there. The only thing you have is okay, and I think it will run. Let me see. No, this should be a create only will work. Let me see, guys. Now can you observe the output? What is happening? First, thread 2 started, then thread 1 came, thread 2, thread 1, thread 2, thread 1. At last, I think this was over by then only thread 1 finished its execution. Ma'am, next time also when I run this, will I get the same output? No, we can't predict how CPU will execute the processes. Shall I run it now? See, are you getting the same output? Last time it was one after the other. This time, any doubts or anything you want to ask? Yeah. If I run the third time, I can tell again it will be a different output. See now, both are executing parallelly, but we don't know which one when it will take control and execute. So that's the reason when you people in your internals, okay, descriptive type second internals, you had even typed the same output, all of you. I would like to say not typed, copied and pasted the same output. So do you think all the 90 students or how many? 80 or 110 students who took the test would have typed the same program and in threading you would get the same output? Yes. Yes, guys. At least for this you answer. Yeah. So multi-threading, leave off the program. The output also was same for all of you. So for this you would like to say no comments, right? Yes, Saad. I understand. Yes, Krish, you have something? Any doubts? GB data होई तो okay. At least now something you understand about multi-threading. If some other faculty next time comes for Java and they ask you, you will say again the same thing. Ma'am, threading we don't understand. Or at least you will say something I understood. Okay, guys. No reply from you. Okay. So shall I end the session today? If you don't have any doubts in threading, I can end the session. Hmm. Announcement ante.
So, still, how many of you want 20 marks for your assignment?